This is a quick one on expectations when they crash into reality. I think expectations are important. It's important to have high expectations on ourselves. It's important to have high expectations on life. And it's somewhat important to have high expectations on others. But what happens when your expectations aren't met? I think that is where a lot of issues are drive from. Once an expectation's met, is it is it okay to demand that expectation? Is it okay to force that expectation on another? And this is where I think the same concept with judgment has to come into play. It's okay to expect something of another person, but then to judge them because they didn't meet an expectation is a different cup of tea. And this goes both within ourselves and externally with other people. I think that once an expectation is not met and then it becomes an enforcement action on that expectation, it becomes a weaponized form and it becomes a punitive thing. But what happens if someone doesn't meet our expectations? That's difficult. That's where a lot of people really struggle. I struggle. I think most people struggle. I've found that the expectations have to be agreed upon. I can't be you can't be expected to fulfill an expectation if it's not an agreed upon expectation. Uh, it's not something you've both gone, yes, this is what will happen. If I say I'm going to do something, you can expect that I'll do it. If I say that I did something, you can expect that I did it. But when you think of an expectation and it's not something that's been vocalized or it's not something that's been shared, is it justified to punish the other for not meeting that expectation? I find this a lot in dating. Um, expected to do there's a lot of expectations when it comes to dating, and it's not. I don't think when expectations aren't met, that aren't an agreed expectation, that uh, it can then be turned around and used as a argument. I expect X, Y, Z, so therefore you should have done it. It's more of that. I expect X, Y, Z, therefore we need to talk about it. Um, and it's a very tricky conversation. It's a very tricky thing because no one's going to get all the expectations met. No one's going to be always get what they want. In life, you very rarely get what you want, and so I think it's the the way we deal with expectations, just like the way we deal with someone that uh, disagrees with you, is someone that does something you don't like. It's not an automatic "I hate you" or "I we're going to have problems." This is the beginning of a conversation, not the beginning of an argument. And sometimes those conversations will turn into arguments. But I know that one way to kill a relationship is to have high expectations and no grace, no no understanding. Yeah, there are, like I said, there are some things that, yeah, you'd expect if you're dating someone, they're not going to cheat on you, they're not going to beat you up, they're not going to steal your money. There's basic expectations which are fine. Um, we all agree upon those as a society. But when it comes down to you didn't say the right words, or you said it the wrong way, or I don't agree with that, so therefore this is a problem, that's a lot more kind of nuanced and very can be used, and I've seen it used and I've had it used on me. It becomes a weapon for control. Becomes I expect this of you, so therefore you have to do it. It's no different from, you know, religious people saying this is what it says, so you have to do it. You know, you're going to burn in hell if you don't do X, Y, Z. That's it's not. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a healthy way. Trying not to use the word good or bad. There's beneficial and detrimental things that you can do. Uh, so I think this is a really complicated thing that needs a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation, a lot of shared expectations. Individual expectations are always a recipe for disaster. The shared expectation is a healthy way of going about it. I don't know if this makes sense, but I just think it's important to have high expectations, but then have a high willingness to dialogue those expectations, especially if they're more specific to you or another. Um, yeah, I think it's important to have that conversation of this is this what is or was my expectation. Let's talk about it. Why can you meet that expectation? Why not? Is this expectation reasonable? Is it just a list of demands that I expect that everyone should do to me? Um, Sort of like the narcissistic people, I think, have a very uh, good grasp on how to weaponize this kind of thing. They use it as a way of controlling their relationships, a way of always getting what they want. It's deeply unhealthy. The human mind has to have a few things. It has to have freedom. It has to have the ability to grow, and it has to be safe. If your expectations start removing those, it's death. And people do a lot to get out of it. People will, um, and they will stay in it as well. because of their own insecurities, their own desires, their own fears. But yeah, I hope it makes sense.